gals. Welcome back to the Mel K Show. I'm Mel, and I'm here in Manhattan live on December 21st, 2020, with my producing partner, Rob Reilly. How's it going, Rob?
It's going great today, Mel. I'm excited about this date, which is 12/21/20. It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. It's the
Yes.
great conjunction of it's Saturn and Jupiter,
All
right?
right.
And it's also the shortest day of the year, so we're going from dark to light now going forward. So I'm excited about
Sounds
that.
like the Great Awakening.
It sure does.
Great. Well, why don't you tell me what's happening in our New York Minute?
Yeah, well, our leadership is going crazy. We got De Blasio, who's extending Thrive New York. He has an expansion plan for COVID-19 for underserved communities.
Right. And
Uh,
for people who don't know, sorry to interrupt you because I was a victim of Thrive New York.
right.
That's the $850 million that went missing for the homeless and the mentally ill that was being run by Mrs. De Blasio, former Dinkins operative that now is co-mayor, according to Mr. De Blasio, who I refuse to call mayor. And that money disappeared and nobody did anything about it. And now they're expanding it. Literally $850 million. They don't know where it went. They had hearings, Scott Stringer, Corey, the guy from the city council, they had hearings. De Blasio's wife had no answers and it disappeared. So today they're going to expand it in the middle of COVID. And God knows what that means because they were trying to do preventative mental health uh, screenings at schools and stuff, which ended up just being yoga and meditation class. Not 1 cent went to the mentally ill or homeless. Not 1 cent. There was no program. So let's see how much more money they throw away. Go ahead. Sorry.
They're excellent with slush funds and
The
payoffs.
worst. New
So
York's the worst.
this is all that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Um, Cuomo's been busy. As we know, that there's a new highly virulent strain of COVID-19. They're
Right.
preparing us for COVID-20,
Oh,
and so he was making a lot of noise that it's coming to New York, and so he's gotten now so far British Airways and Delta to do COVID testing on all people traveling from the UK to New York.
right. And he
Okay.
said that he's putting troops or National Guard at the airports to do this. That's
Yes.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
What I want to say, and we'll talk about it in a minute, is the testing is um, the guy who created the PCR test has said, and many people have confirmed, the testing is flawed. It's manipulatable, and cases are not. He's totally. I don't know what these people are doing. Cases don't mean you're sick because these tests are about 78% false positives, and they can be manipulated in the lab easily. They're not really meant to be diagnosing anything. And if you had any lingering of any COVID over the last several years, including SARS and all of that, it'll read a positive, which will be false. And these test numbers are completely fraudulent. And, it's just giving him more power and he's destroying New York with these false positive tests. So, oh, well, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, they continue to expose themselves. I really think that that's what we're seeing. I mean, some of this stuff is just so blatant; it's almost laughable.
Mm.
If it was on Saturday Night Live, it might be funny.
Right.
So Cuomo's also he's going full on COVID. He's got a COVID equity task force. He's got a vaccine equity task force, and he's ramped up his vaccine website. So we are fully ready to jab everyone at least twice in New York.
And he's going to try to make it mandatory.
Absolutely.
Yeah, our body, our choice when it comes to 9 month abortion, late term abortion, but not our body, our choice when it comes to vaccinating and changing possibly your DNA and all the side effects. Thanks, Cuomo.
Yeah. Now, there's one other thing that happened in New York, which is not really necessarily a New York story, but people have maybe seen this Dalton School, which is one of the uh, more famous private schools in New York. Um, the teachers have submitted a list of demands. This school costs $54,000 a year or something like that. And they're just they keep pushing this race war. So they have they're fighting structural racism and institutional racism, and there needs to be equity and transparency and everything. But we know some things about the Dalton School, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if many of you folks out there know, but Epstein got his start at the Dalton School.
Yes, he did, without a college degree, teaching geometry and math to teenage girls. He started his operation there. He was Ace Greenberg, who used to run Bear
Bear
Stearns,
Stearns,
which
yep.
later he took down Epstein, apparently. We're going to learn more about that. But he befriended his daughter, and before you knew it, she was a student there. He was teaching there, and oddly enough, Bill Barr's father, yes, AG Bill Barr, is walking today away with his tail between his legs, apparently. His father was the headmaster when Epstein was somehow hired at this exclusive private school that's, I believe, $55,000 a year per child, without a college degree, starting off the Epstein, when he was 19, starting off the Epstein reign of terror for the next, what was that? 50 years of
Yep.
child and exploitation of girls and teenage girls. So, the Dalton School has a lot to be in its past as it is. And now the teachers at this exclusive private school are pushing all of these demands. What is their goal, Rob?
I mean, they're just talking about racism and equity, and these are the buzzwords of, the CCP, the
Right.
New World
Great
Order. It's
reset.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
They're trying to
used
create a race war. It's coming from all sides.
right, and they're ramping up. I mean,
Yeah.
on everything. So, and we'll talk about it a little later. But I
Mhm.
think we're at a certain place now where things are probably going to happen, but we'll see.
Mhm. Wow. Anything else happening out there?
Mm, it's busy as usual.
Yep, still outdoor dining. You know what I realized today? We were talking about it last night. Cuomo has de facto canceled New Year's Eve this year. Not only is there no ball drop, there's going to be one virtual, and no Times Square, but all restaurants have to close at 10 p.m. on New Year's Eve. Imagine, who would have ever thought? But obviously, the COVID is the smartest virus ever and knows when it's 10 o'clock, and then it gets wild. So you got to shut down. But it's a big night also. So it's another night passing by for restaurants, bars, and clubs and venues that they will feel the pain. Not really sure why, but looks like that's what's going to happen. And so moving on, everyone get very excited. You're going to get your $600 next week. I'm very disappointed in this. I don't know why we are giving money to foreign countries, way more than he's giving to the American people. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Don't even go there. This is Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer have decided to finally sign a $900 billion stimulus package. The least awarded of all of them are the working class people of America that have just had a year stolen of our lives, our businesses decimated, our children forced to stay at home and go to school online, and unemployment raging, very few jobs that are on the higher level sectors, if at all, depends where you're living. And so they're going to give each adult $600 and each child $600, apparently, only if you make under $75,000. So everyone else, too bad. Now, they're going to add $300 per week in enhanced unemployment, but it's not retroactive. So that'll start now rather than going back since the last one in April. So basically, the American people are getting nothing more than maybe the ability to pay 1 month of their utilities if they're lucky. On that note, 284 billion going to payment protection program. Of course, we know that the last time that they gave out forgivable loans to small businesses, it was the biggest abuse of this package, and how they're doing it is totally arbitrary, and it's not really taking into account the damage that has been done to small businesses in the last 9 months, because a lot of these loans, grants that they're saying they're really loans, forgivable loans, but a lot of them will judge your credit score, your bank account, your income, and how much money your business made in the last 3 to 6 months. As we all know, that would knock out basically every small business run by a mom and pop that doesn't have big financial backing. So I think the American people are getting totally screwed. Donald Trump has nothing to do with this. I would suggest that he does an executive order to actually help the people, but Congress doesn't care about that. So they're giving 82 billion to education. Of course, everyone's going to school at home and learning that our education system has been infiltrated by social justice activists that have replaced teachers by and large. So there's 54 billion for K through 12, 22 billion for colleges. Governors get 4 billion to spend on education at their discretion. So in New York, that's going to go in their pockets. For-profit colleges are getting $908 million. And the American people, again, they're spending 160 million. It's completely insane. For grants to students, 1.7 billion and 1.7 billion set aside for Black colleges, tribal colleges, and minority serving institutions. Yet again, the 13% get priority, and the 73% of white people and children, not so much. Moving on, 10 billion for childcare, yet not to the parents. And that doesn't include the school. So 10 billion for childcare, which includes preschool and other things. But these childcare 10 billion is going to foundations and to grants. So again, that'll get caught in the bureaucracy. That 10 billion should be going to parents with children at home, because that's what's really going on. But apparently they're very excited about that. 15 billion in grants for theater operators and movie theater owners. 15 billion in grants. Let me tell you something. Hollywood's sitting on way more money than they can imagine. They should be bailing out the movie theaters. But
You
no.
know who owns the movie theaters?
Right, China. China owns AMC and a bunch of others. Well, movies are now premiering in China before America, but
Oh
we're
my
going to
God,
give them $15 billion.
did you see that?
Yeah, I did. It's terrible. 25 billion for rental assistance and extension of moratorium on evictions. Again, moratorium on evictions for renters, at least in New York, does not mean you will not owe your back rent. You will. So that's 25 billion in rental assistance that again will be prioritizing minority and Black and brown communities. Again, America is 73% white. So screw us, too bad for us, because they're not prioritizing anyone but the 13% that they feel are more important. 13 billion in funds for food stamps and child nutrition benefits, which apparently isn't included in the 10 billion for children or the education. So figure that out where that's going. 1.8 billion for tax credits for businesses that provide paid leave. If anyone is still employed and has paid leave, God bless them. Then on top of that, we got 15 billion in payroll assistance to airlines. So, okay, even though airline prices are still high and people continue to fly, but hey, and it talks about there's going to also be $180 million in assistance for furloughed airline workers. Okay, that's going well. Mind you, Congress nor Senate lost 1 day of pay in the last 10 months, nor their benefits, nor anything else. So they're being very kind. And then it looks like they're giving 1 billion to Amtrak, 14 billion to public transportation, 200 million for airports, 2 billion for private buses, school buses and ferries, 45 billion for transportation other. Federal Aviation Administration is getting 10 billion, and that's for safety. Okay. 15 billion for airline rescue bridge line, whatever that is. And let's see what else. And then we got a lot of money going to foreign countries, including Sudan, Asia, Africa, many countries in Africa and elsewhere, totaling way into the multi-billions. So thank you, Congress. We really appreciate you helping us with possibly January's utility bills. That's really going to make a dent. Rob?
Let's see what else we got. I know that I heard something about that there was more votes than voters.
Oh, yeah, I read that today. I know what you're talking about. Right. Basically, Biden's camp claims that he got 13 million more votes. If you put Trump's number next to the number they're saying Biden got 13 million more votes than there were voters. So, it's really it's dismantling at warp speed at this point. And basically, he only won 17% of counties. He lost Black and Hispanic support by record numbers. And apparently, they are claiming that he got the most votes in history. So with 212 million registered voters, 66% voting, 140.3 million voted. So basically, they're saying for sure Donald Trump, or according to them, the powers that be, Donald Trump got 74 million votes, which leaves 66.3 million votes. But the Biden campaign is claiming that Joe Biden got 80 million votes. So if Trump got 74 million, that leaves 67.5 million. And that would make 13 million of the votes that they're claiming Joe Biden got either duplicate or phony ballots. So this is really unraveling, and it's coming to a head. The cheaters are definitely on the Democrat side, funded by CCP, also Venezuela, Cuba, Dominion, Smartmatic, and they can threaten all they want. But finally, Krebs, who was fired, who was supposed to be overseeing voting, and went in front of Congress or Senate and testified last week that there was the safest election in history, has today come out and admitted that there was significant amounts of cheating and fraud, and that the Dominion and Smartmatic was hooked up to the internet, and that these votes were manipulated by outside sources. And even though Pompeo was pointing at Russia for some reason, it's very clear that the DNI is holding out. There's lots of Chinese money involved here. And also, don't forget, China bought Dominion voting systems in October for $400 million. So we shall see where that goes. But it looks like the fingerprints of Venezuela, Cuba, possibly Russia, definitely China, maybe Iran, were all involved in this election fraud conspiracy, which will be apparently a RICO case coming up. But hold on, patriots, because the proof is coming. They can't deny facts and truth at this level. Also, Rob, we've been talking about that true patriot who I think might not have used to have been a patriot, but has really come around, Patrick Byrne. He was on Ann's show last week, and Vandersteel did a great interview. Well, apparently on Sunday night, there was a meeting in the White House, and he's been working on uncovering the fraud. And he had a meeting with Trump's team, Michael Flynn, Sidney Powell, and a few others. Well, apparently, after that meeting, one of Trump's attorneys, or a counsel for the White House, went and leaked a story about that meeting that was false, about them planning military action and martial law. So Patrick Byrne has no fear at this point. He came out and he quoted saying, "My involvement in the room when it happened, the raised voices included my own. I can promise you, President Trump is being terribly served by his advisors. They want him to lose. They are lying to him. He is surrounded by mendacious mediocrites. In addition, and suggestion if there was talk about a military coup or martial law is a flat out lie, 100% false. I was there for 4.5 hours. I heard the entire conversation. This is a complete fabrication." Well, it turns out that a few hours after this happened, Byrne called out White House counsel Pat Cipollone as the leaker to the New York Times. He was tipped off by somebody else. And he also said that Meadows and the White House staff are lying to Trump about the truth, and they're telling him to concede. And Patrick Byrne has the evidence that they cheated and that there was foreign interference triggering the executive order. So he finished off by saying, I was there for the 4.5 hours. Claims of military martial law were discussed is total fabrication. Trump's people are lying to him, getting the president to succeed. While they stall Trump, Meadows, lawyers, Derek, GC, Pat Cipollone, the leaker, are fighting against the president. And then he said Meadows and legal staff led by GC Cipollone reflectively shot down every sober discussion and idea presented by the rest of the room. Their frame of mind is automatic. We better not try this. It may not work. It may hurt your reputation in the press. No kidding. They said stuff like this. Tell Donald J. Trump to fire these people. And then he goes on and on. But basically, it's nice to have somebody who is inside that's actually telling the truth. And, the real heroes here will come out and we will know who they are. And this guy's definitely one of them.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. He's the CEO of Overstock, right?
Well, he was, yeah.
Was,
And
yeah.
he got caught up in the Hillary Clinton scandal and was involved in bribing her with that Russian spy. And he came forward and he was scared for his life of Brennan and Clapper and Comey. And he came forward about a year and a half ago and admitted his part in it. And since then, apparently, he's been working. He's apparently a technology genius, obviously, and he's been working behind the scenes, monitoring the election the whole time. So good for him. He came forward, he did the right thing, and then he turned everything around and started working for the White Hat. So congratulations to him, because it's nice to see heroes coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, he seems like a really, really credible guy.
Yeah, I agree. Just like Bobulinski, where's he gone?
Yeah.
The craziest part about Joe Biden is he hasn't had to answer any questions about anything from the press. Not Hunter, who he claims is the smartest person on the planet he knows. Okay. Not any of Bobulinski's very credible, obviously true claims. Nothing about his China, nothing about Ukraine. I mean, this Joe Biden has committed so many crimes of treason and sedition and for 20 years. And now the press doesn't ask him. And when they do ask him, he flips out. So, all these people that really are still voting for Biden and still want Biden in there, which he never will be. Really, I can't understand that they hate America that much, that they would put a total traitor who sold us out to China and other countries in the White House. But he'll never be there. But it's really sad to watch America choose this guy. Anyway, anything else on your end?
Well, there's a few things. I was excited to see that in Salem, Oregon, people were basically storming the state capitol
Yeah.
and basically trying to smash in the doors to get access to some sort of hearing that was going on that was
Right.
supposed to be public, and it was closed
Yeah.
down.
Well, what
Uh,
they've done in Oregon, can you imagine? It's bad enough in New York, but Oregon and Washington State, I can't even imagine living there. These people are totally out of control, and I feel very bad because it's not the people. It's this small group of government officials, mainly put in there by Bloomberg and Soros money, and they're destroying Portland and Seattle, and they're not giving the people the say. And this is crazy. It wasn't supposed to be. We are subjects and they are rulers. They are supposed to be working for us. Pelosi went on TV today and it was so rude to Wolf Blitzer, who I dislike as it is. But today, I mean, she just said, we feed the people. We know who they are. We're helping the people. And she was like, and he was saying, I don't think $600 after 10 months is really going to help anyone that much. And she just told him to shut up. I mean, it was horrible. Anyone should go look at that clip with Pelosi and Wolf Blitzer. Somebody's got to do something about her, but nobody's doing anything about any of them because we have Cuomo and de Blasio and nobody's doing anything. And it's getting worse every day, but good for those people in Oregon. I wouldn't be surprised if people marched on Congress because of this ridiculous stimulus bill, there should be not 1 cent going to any foreign country before it's going to the American people, let alone all their slush funds and everything else that's in there and all the cultural institutions. And they're giving literally enough to pay maybe utilities for January to the humans that pay them. It's our money, actually. Yeah. So what else is happening?
Well, I watched. I don't know if anyone saw
Your sound is
the
up and down.
3 days worth of
I'm
speeches
losing your
from
sound,
USA.
sir.
Sorry, I was watching the Turning Point. It's we're having sort of an internet issue. How's
Yeah.
now?
Okay.
Any better?
Better
Yeah.
now, yes.
Anyway,
Yeah, we're all having
USA
internet issues
Vince,
in Manhattan.
and it was
Yeah, it's
there were
going in
some
and
amazing
out.
speeches.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell
Yeah.
that story
Well,
because I
I've noticed. Okay. Uh,
you're going in
yeah.
and
Why don't
out.
you
Sorry, guys.
take it on because for some reason my head's not working.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I'll just finish that story because Palm Beach is my other home, and that's where my parents are. So this is highly disturbing. Turning Point USA, which is a great organization for conservative, like-minded folks who love America and are patriots, and they had their big event this weekend. It's still going on, and at last minute, the liberals running Palm Beach County, not to be confused with Palm Beach, they at last minute, there was 5,000 people expected. They decided the health department came in and said only 1,500 can attend. At literally at last minute when people were lined up to go inside. Again, this is like this is Cold War tactics, color revolution tactics, and it happens to be a conservative group, of course. There's a lot going on down there. There's some really despicable human that's trying to fight Palm Beach Island to not allow Donald Trump to live in his own home. It's just
Jeez.
so crazy. But very disappointing, West Palm Beach. I'm calling you out. There was no reason to do that. We are adults. We had the warnings. Florida is open. It is up to the humans, not the health department Gestapo. And everyone there was excited. It was a good day. People wanted to get together. It's been a really hard year, an impossible 9 months on the people and citizens of this country, and to invade them like that, shut that down. This has to stop. So just everyone should know we got to take back our country. Nobody's going to do it for us. And this is despicable behavior. And I hope Ron DeSantis knows about it and does something, at least calls out this health department in West Palm Beach, Florida, for completely arbitrarily shutting down half an event that was already planned and for absolutely no reason. So are you back up, Rob?
I think I'm back up. And
Okay, sounding good.
what I really loved about that, I mean, there were so many great and powerful speakers,
I
and
know,
there was a very consistent message, which is basically that, we are at war with an invisible enemy, or
right?
maybe not so invisible now
Right.
because we're starting to see it. And it's time to stand up and do something. And that made me think of Dan Scavino's recent posts,
Right.
which I thought
Yeah.
were really interesting on top of that video that we saw the other day. But the post, so think about this. In the last few days, he has a picture of Trump with Andrew Jackson, who ended the Fed in 1833 and the
Right.
central bank, right?
Kicked out the central bank as we're trying to do right now, God willing.
Right. Then there was an eagle and a flag. Then there was Churchill with Trump, and you know what Churchill did.
Yeah, he nipped communist Russia in the bud, ended communism, and saved England. I'm a huge Churchill fan. If you're going through hell, keep going.
Yep. And he was a great wartime president.
Hmm.
And then another wartime president, Lincoln,
Right,
was the next picture, or
right.
in the other direction.
A lot of
And
symbolism.
a lot of symbolism. And
Yeah,
then there was
well,
a picture with Trump, and there was some language on it with Lexington, 1775, which is the shot heard around the world. I think all this is speaking to, kind of where we are,
right,
right, in this
right.
time and place.
I agree 100%. It's crazy. And there's just a couple other things on that on that note is that today we have to realize, I think that this Congress stimulus should be a real wake up call for people, the American people. That's our taxpayer dollars that they're sending to Sudan and to Senegal and to Asia, and that they're bailing out Hollywood and all these other places with. That's American taxpayer dollars. We've been pilfered for now since the Fed went into the central bankers and the Fed went into our pockets a long time ago. And this stimulus bill should have been 100% for the American people. And the money should be going to the American people. And so much of it is not. And again, nobody's going to save us at this point. Trump is one man. He's had, nobody could withstand what he's been through. It's been heartbreaking to watch. But he's doing the best he can, but we have to start doing what we can. If you don't believe in the mask, stop wearing it. It's not real. It doesn't work. It's a control mechanism. Today, Rand Paul came out. He said the mask has nothing to do, him and his father are doctors. So it has nothing to do with anything. You can't stop a virus with a mask. Also, Rob, we were going to talk about, I forgot that the same German doctors who are heroes out there, doctors and lawyers got together in Germany. They came out and said that this new strain is total bogus, that all viruses mutate, and that the same tests that they're using to up the caseload is being used to cause another round of fear and lockdowns. So, I mean, none of this is making sense. Everyone needs to do their own research. There's plenty out there. But this German virologist, who's one of the main guys that are suing, Germany is suing their country. The people, this big group of doctors and nurses and scientists and lawyers are suing because they believe that this was a pandemic, basically, that it was a bioweapon, but that it wasn't deadly, and that it had a 99% recovery rate with hydrochloroquine, which all of our governments tried to keep from us, which is absolutely why there's basically no COVID in Africa, because they take it prophylactically for malaria. But these guys are coming out in Germany. It's a shame because they're silenced in America, but in Germany they can speak out. And they're saying that they think that the tests are 75% false positives. They say that this new strain cannot be proven. There's been no data on it. It's just, it came out of one of the medical establishment government agencies, and then they just started throwing out data that doesn't make sense. And this guy is in Berlin, and he's the director of virology at Berlin's Charlite Hospital. And he came out and said, the question is, was it the virus's fault, or was it simply that in an area where the virus happened to be, that methods of transmission came into play and it came to the surface? Either way, the lockdowns aren't helping, and the amount of tests are false positives. So they're all saying that the virus is more transmittable with lockdowns, masks, and the way that they're handling it. So anyway, that's that. And speaking of the virus, we just found out that Dr. Birx, after telling us all to stay home and have Thanksgiving virtually, actually went to a big 20-person Thanksgiving weekend dinner where she was spotted out with her family with no mask on Fenwick Island, and right near her home, her fancy home in Potomac, Maryland, and that she actually, again, another one of them telling us what to do and doing the opposite. So you have to wonder. And then just as we wind down here, because we're getting long, it has come out. See, they're saying that they're locking down LA and basically all of California. Kudos to the San Diego judge who said no way. And to the sheriff in, I believe it was in Orange County, it might be higher, that said he's not letting murderers and rapists out of prison because Gavin Newsom wants them out because of COVID. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, good for them. But basically, 17,400 people hospitalized with COVID apparently in California happen to be illegal. So all of this stuff that's going on in California, a lot of these people that are flooding the system, they said only 3,600 of the confirmed hospitalizations are are permanent residents. So that's illegal immigration for you. And it's too bad because being an illegal immigrant has a lot of negatives, way more than positives. And these people that push it and give money and take care of them, because I believe that the uptick in New York is also illegal immigrants, because they're not getting the care. They also tend to live on top of each other. And this is a problem. So now it looks like the numbers in New York and in California are both attributed largely to illegal immigrants that are flooding the system because they can't go to doctors. They go straight to hospitals. So that's one side thing to think about when you're hearing the numbers from these sanctuary states. And other than that, Rob, it's the age of Aquarius.
It's the age of Aquarius. It's Christmas week.
Yep.
I'm excited about all that.
It's going to be a great week. So much is going to happen. I already see it happening. I'm excited. I love people to do their own research. A lot of people out there are starting to open their eyes. There's so much out there. It's all available. Just arm yourself with facts and truth. You can find us here every night on the Mel K Show. Thank you for standing by for the first week. I appreciate everyone that's been we've been subscribing and watching and commenting. I couldn't be more grateful. I was very scared to go on my own after the CW and working with so many great people like Charlie and Ann and Roseanne. And so I really appreciate everyone's support. It's been really amazing. So thank you. I really do believe in our country. I believe in God and family and faith. And I believe the best is yet to come. I believe in Donald Trump and I believe in the White Hats. And I would say don't listen to the news, especially in the next few weeks. Also, when these military guys come out, they don't really have anything to do with this. There was an alliance formed, as I've talked about on many, many shows. Most have been purged from YouTube. But an alliance was formed long ago to end the international human child sex slavery, trafficking, gun running, the Five Eyes corruption. Trump is not alone. He's got many people all over the world that are working with him, in Russia, in England, in Australia. There are a lot of white hats out there. All you're going to hear from on the mainstream media are the mainstream media owned puppets and people that have a lot to lose from the military industrial complex. And no matter what happens, stay strong, stay brave, fight back, and arm yourself with the truth. There's plenty of places out there. I suggest going to Corey Diggs. She has a website that you can find almost anything there. She's done an amazing job to put together lots of stuff for patriots to search for themselves. There's also the FBI vault. People don't know about it. It's open, CIA vault. There's plenty of places to find your own information, and that's the best way to do it. Arm yourself with facts and information and have that be your superpower. Okay, guys, thank you again. Another Monday in the COVID. And thank you so much. Impulsive Woman at Twitter, if you want to follow me. Impulsive Woman 1 at Parler. Impulsive Woman at Gab. And then I am also my YouTube channel. They've taken down most of my videos, but there's some good ones that are hiding there in the playlist of Mel K at Manic in Manhattan. And we'll see you here tomorrow. Rob, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at RobReallyOne. And I just want to encourage everyone to stand up. It's time to take back our country.
Yes.
And, we have a mission. Our mission is to educate, inform, and comfort, and be a loud voice for freedom and truth.
Yeah, power to the people. They work for us. Don't you ever forget it. We don't work for them. They work for us. And we're going to start making them work for us again. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's a little nerve-wracking, but we're getting there. And we really enjoy our time together. Thank you so much.
Bye, Patriots. Thank you.
Bye-bye.